Posted by you/Cohen26. I, 25M, am a PhD student who has been dating an executive assistant, 27F, for 5 months. It's going well. We have a lot of fun, and we're both crazy busy, so frequently our dates consist of Chinese food and Redbox movies, but it's all good. She attends a lot of events with her boss, 34M, things like business dinners, charity events, and basically anything where he's too lazy to bring a notepad, so he makes her give up her finite free time to accompany him. I get invited to some of these events, partially because I want to actually see my girlfriend, and, due to school and work, I went to the first one last weekend, a dinner at his house, a casual business mixer type deal. I was underdressed. My definition of business casual was navy slacks and a button-up. By the time I showed up, admittedly a little late, it was too late to stop by my place and fix it. Oh well. I'm confident, so I don't care. But she seems to and is slightly irritated. We get there, and I meet her boss, who's kind of smug and a bit of a prick but seems nice enough. Right away, she asks, "Rob, do you mind if Cohen borrows a tie and jacket?" I didn't relay the dress code. He says, "That's unlike you, but sure. The jacket will be too big in the shoulders, but go ahead." She leads me up to the guy's bedroom, goes right into his closet, and grabs some stuff. That night, everyone basically ignored me, and she didn't seem to notice. She was too busy backing up everything her boss said and mingling with coworkers. She apologized later, saying she can get a bit obsessive about work. I understand. I vowed never to go back, and that was that. Last night, I was over at her place and using her computer for some assignment since mine is down. I went to send myself an email of my work, her email was already open, and I figured it would work just as well. Until I noticed the subject of one email was your boyfriend. I opened it. It was from her boss. "Boss, your boyfriend has my favorite tie. Procure it promptly. Of course, you would choose that one out of the 100 others. Wench. Girlfriend, it's already back in your closet. I can't help it, he looks nice in red, hee hee. What did you think of him, anyway? Approve? Boss, he looked like a little kid playing dress up in my clothes. But in all seriousness, he is a little kid. He's still in school and in an immature place. He's not husband material. You want kids and a house in a couple of years. Date someone who can give you that. Date a man. Girlfriend, thanks for being honest. I value your opinion. Husbands aren't exactly growing on trees, though." That was the last email. I left soon after and haven't talked to her about it. I feel completely disrespected. At the same time, I read her email, which is a no-no. How should I approach this? Update 6 days later. I followed the advice, some of it, and told her how I stumbled across the email and all that. She was upset that I read her work emails but understood why I wasn't happy with what I saw. She explained that her boss is more than just a boss, he's also a friend, and they've been through a lot together. In the 3 years they've worked together, they've each lost a parent, her father was estranged from her family, and none of her siblings would go with her to the funeral, but her boss volunteered and helped her handle it, and have climbed the corporate ladder together. She explained that the email was private, similar to me asking a friend on Facebook what they thought of her and her reading it. So, I'm a little uncomfortable with it and their closeness in general. I also told her it irritated me that she didn't clarify what business casual meant in her world. She said that a button-up would have been fine, but I wore a plaid one, a nice plaid button-up, not a lumberjack style, and that was too casual. She also told me she was mad at me for being late, explaining that it's important to Rob that when he hosts, she arrives early, on time is late, and late is very late. We didn't address the bigger issues, babies and marriage, because it's just too soon, and we went on our way, happy for the week. Until last night, around 2 a.m., her boss called, saying he was sick and needed her to check up on him, etc. She was about to leave when I expressed my discomfort, and she reluctantly invited me along. She told me to keep my distance from him and just wait, it shouldn't take long, and she'd use my presence as a reason not to stay too long. We get there, and he's in the front room, so I can't avoid him seeing me. He's in his trousers, which I'm not happy about, and is obviously quite sick and furious about being sick. My girlfriend is ridiculously tender with him, rubbing his hair and telling him how they can reschedule most of his meetings. Except for one, which they'll make a phone meeting. They'll work from home tomorrow, and she'll get everything in the morning and bring it to his place, etc. He makes eye contact with me as I'm hovering as close to the door as I can, feeling like an interloper, and he almost looks smug. I swear to God, he did. Then he asks if they can have wonton soup for lunch and fortune cookies like usual. She says of course, then takes him to his room and literally tucks him in, I assume, after giving him some medicine. We leave, and we start arguing. It's just too close for me. I tell her she needs to draw boundaries if she wants to keep dating me. She accuses me of just being jealous and uncomfortable, saying that Rob has never made a pass at her and never will. The fight gets a little ugly, and insults fly. I say she basically gets paid to suck his chalk, and she says the only difference between me and a college freshman is that I can buy beer. And that's it. It's over. This all happens in his driveway. She gets out and says she'll just stay here. If he wasn't too sick to get it up, I imagine they probably smashed. Second update 2 days later. Well, I've been drowning my sorrows in booze and biographies when I got a text from my ex-girlfriend. I obviously hoped she was begging for forgiveness and pleading for me to come back to her, both because I missed her and because I wanted to turn her down. I'm a complicated fool of a man. She was not. I wanted to let you know I'm sorry for what I said. Once you compared my entire career to that of a sleuth, I lost my temper and said a lot of things I regret. I hate to end on a bad note because we were both hurt and lashed out. I also wanted to let you know you were right about Rob, just because I would want to know if I were you. You deserve to know you weren't crazy. I didn't think he felt the same way, and I resigned myself to trying to love someone else. I didn't do a good job. How could I when he was constantly there? But it turns out he's felt the same way all along. He just didn't think he could cross the line. It had to be me, because Rob felt, as my superior, there was no appropriate way to confess his love. 2 years of us being stupid and stubborn, but we are finally together. We're hashing it out with HR now, and they're not giving us any problems. Sorry we put you in the middle of our personal games. I wish you all the best. So screw me. She's going to live happily ever after, never loved me, and I wasted 5 months. Gonna become a monk now? Reddit, G2G find God. Edit. I don't want to do an update because there's no reason to, but I would like to say that I don't begrudge her happiness or wish her any harm. I'm a little bummed that it ended this way, because, despite everything, she was a fun girlfriend. We did a lot of fun stuff together, and she even used Reddit, so we had a lot to talk about. She's extremely smart, honestly, she does a lot of her boss's work and gives great feedback, and if it weren't for her messed up family, she would have gone on to be an executive, not an assistant. But I'm not getting drunk or wasting away. I'm just having a few cold ones and playing video games because I'm an introvert, and that's how I cheer myself up. Anyway, my point is, I'm not a hero, and she's not a villain. We never said we loved each other or anything. I saw it maybe heading in that direction, unless I end up teaching in Nebraska or something. I said a crappy thing to her, and it all unraveled from there, and now that it's done, I realize I started it. I'm a little disappointed and a little bitter, but I don't hate her or wish for her to lose her job or get crabs. I just kind of want everyone to be happy, and maybe to get laid this weekend. Not that we'll be friends, I just don't have time to hate her. Thanks for all the advice.